comes is evaluative judgment. Again, we are all into evaluation. Think of a situation like, say, for instance, there is a football team in a school, and the football coach, there is this player who has not scored a goal for 20 matches, and the football coach will say that, hey, you don't know anything, you need to be thrown out of the team. So that will, lessen down his enthusiasm, his energy, his spirit. But if we are not using the evaluative language, if we are using non-violent communication, we will say, hey, I know you have not been able to score a goal for the last 20 matches, but I'm sure with your hard work you can do better. So that really pumps up the other person. So how we use language, it's the most important thing. Use of language we need to understand. Here is a beautiful quote which I would like to share with you. I suggest, this is by Mira Walden. I suggest that you learn to pay attention to your speech, especially when you are unhappy with another person. When expressing yourself, refer to what the other person said or did without evaluating their actions. Here we were talking of the use of evaluative language. For example, rather than saying, when you insult me, when you call me inconsiderate, in the I say, when you call me inconsiderate, in the latter expression, you're simply quoting the other person without interpreting the word as insulting. So here again, let us see what kind of language that we are using in our conversation. Again, an extremely important element of non-violent communication is avoidance, being aggressive. If we are aggressive, we are losing our control. We will not know what words or language we are going to use. So that again leads to a lot of problems and criticism. There could be conflicts and disputes and differences. Here again, we talked about those 5 pillars of Gandhian non-violence, and this is important. Role of mutual respect in the communication. We need to respect the other person with whom we are communicating. That's the first and foremost thing. Here is a very, very important element, that is the power of empathy. In fact, when we do this exercise with teachers and schools and universities, we have this special session on how to develop an empathetic classroom. How we handle situations or differences in the classroom using empathy. So empathy is so important in today's world. While we are empathizing with others, we can touch their humanness. It entails not just connecting with oneself or other individuals, but with all, including nature and other living beings. Empathetic connection, developing empathetic connections with others is an extremely crucial element of non-violent communication. So empathy in today's world is so important, and in fact, we need to promote a world which is full of empathy. That's so important. Here is again a beautiful quote which I found. When someone receives our suffering quietly, open heartedly, and without judgment, we are able to open ourselves to our pain. We experience it fully, release it, and in so doing, we heal. Clarity emerges, and we gain access to inner wisdom. Here is a beautiful, this little cartoon of empathy. Here is again that important aspect or a pillar of compassion that comes up again. When you act from compassion, you stop to find out another person's strength and hopes and figure out what you need to do or help him or her to be independent. When you allow yourself to respond to others with compassion, you recognize their need for self-respect and treat everyone equally. Connecting with needs of others, that's one of the most critical element of non-violent communication. You see, when we connect at the needs level, it's amazing how conflict that seems unsolvable start to become solvable. We see each other's humanness at the needs level. Here I will give you a little example. Sometime back I was having this session with the judicial officers at the Delhi Judicial Academy, and we were talking about this whole importance of connecting with needs of others. So there was this very senior honorable judge of the Delhi High Court who was there, and she was chairing that session, and she gave a beautiful example of this. Like, she said that there was a case going on between a brother and a sister for a long time. At some stage, she called the sister to her chamber to see how mediation could be done and to solve the problem, because it had gone on for quite some time. See how it's so important to look at micro level, at the needs level. She said that when she had a long discussion with the lady, she could realize that one of the major cause of that conflict, small little thing that triggers the conflict, was that she felt that her brother, who was younger to her, the brother and the sister-in-law, they were not fully respectful to her, and the whole conflict started with that small little figment, foment, the small little thing, that the lack of respect. So when we understand or connect to other people's concern at the needs level, what is that small needs of that other person? If we are able to find out, we will be able to solve a particular conflict in a much better way. So that's again an extremely important element of non-violent communication. So here we are. To be able to use non-violent communication, we must develop a vocabulary of feelings. Understanding human needs is half the job of meeting them. We should try to see each other's humanness at the needs level. That's what I was talking about. Again, an extremely important, but you see, when we are talking of the Gandhian approach to non-violent communication, as we're looking at, what was his non-violent speech of an action, openness in communication and flexibility in communication. Gandhi was flexible in his communication process with his even the adversaries, the Britishers. He never broke the channel of communication with the Britishers. So that's so important. Even with our adversary, we should be flexible, we should be open, so that if there is a communication breakdown, that's the end of it. If in a conflict, if there is a communication breakdown, that's the end of it. So that's so important, that we are flexible, we are open to the other person, and we are able to reach out to the other person,
माइक
even if
बंद करे भाई.
he's an adversary. Here is again an extremely important element of non-violent communication, the listening skills. In fact, I talk about the compassionate listening and all. I recently wrote a blog on the importance of compassionate listening. We need to listen. Listening is again a very important skill. Just listening, just showing that you are listening to the other person is not enough. We must listen to the other person at a at a very deep level, and we should be able to listen to the other person empathetically and with compassion, so that we can understand the other person's point of view, and it will help solve much of the problem. So here is a beautiful quote I can share with you. If we sit with others and listen, not just with our ears, but also with our bodies and the whole being, we find that the words we thought we ought to say or planned on saying may have changed. A new set of words begin to formulate a different kind of communicating. Our knowledge is blended with our insights in the moment. It's a beautiful book by Thais Majur and Wendy Wood. So listening with ears is so important. Then the important point of non-violent communication is gratitude, expression of gratitude. The more you become a connoisseur of gratitude, the less you're a victim of resentment, depression, and despair. When we have these sessions on non-violent communication, we request people to start a gratitude journal. And during the course of the day, there are so many people, so many incidents we should be thankful of, because of them or that particular situation. We have really done something positive. So we should, learn and make it into a habit of thanking people. Thanking not just people, even the situations. There might be a situation because of which we have learned something in life. So when we start expressing gratitude, it helps us. In fact, when there is interesting researches have been done, psychological tests researches have been done, and there is a real connection between the gratitude and the neurosciences of the brain, and it shows that more we express gratitude, the less stressful we are. So this is really helping us in a way to be less stressful. So let us, be gratitude to people. Now we come to the last two slides. Little quarrels of millions of families in their daily lives disappear before the exercise of force. Two brother quarrels, one of them repents and reawakens the love that was lying dormant in him. The two again begin to live in peace. In fact, that's the last slide. The greatest revolution in our generation is that of human beings who, by changing the inner attitude of their mind, can change the outer aspects of their life. So this is a small little presentation of non-violent communication. We should have a small discussions with everyone. Also, through this, I request everyone who are there listening to this to go to the website of gandhismriti.gov.in. Please download that course material, and also please go do this course as I requested. Also, I'm sure there will be senior professors and associate professors or assistant professor from other universities. We are ready to do this program with your students also. We want to involve your students also. You're most welcome. Anyone would wanting to write on this whole session or on the course, please get in touch with us at gsdspstudies@gmail.com. Gandhi Smriti Darshan Samiti, gsdspstudies@gmail.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kundu, to deliver us such a wonderful presentation. So the next theme is that we can have a panel discussion, including the main speakers. I will say, first of all, the chair of the session, Professor Shivaji Sarkar, including Dr. Bedabas Kundu, I myself, and probably some participant can also join us. So why not? So let's start a panel discussion. So anyone can raise some questions or queries just after the panel discussion. So I would like to invite the chair of the session, Professor Shivaji Sarkar, just to initiate this discussion, please. So sir, please. Shivaji sir, are you there? Shivaji sir, are you there?
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yes, yes. So please initiate. Yeah, please initiate. Please initiate the panel discussion.
Yes, Vedabhyas, thank you for the nice presentation, and especially what you said virtually goes in sync with the ancient concept of samgachadam sambadaddam samvamanansi janatam. If we talk in the same wavelength, then we can all sail together. That is the basics of the communication that you try to stress. And one more important thing that often I've heard, even my guru and religious preachers, whenever they start speaking, they stress the fact that you should also be a good listener, because without listening, you won't imbibe the thoughts, and unless and until you imbibe the thoughts, you can't disseminate new thoughts. So one good thing, Vedabhyas, you have given us an opportunity to rethink on how remaining in the most stressful situations, especially like this, the way we are passing through this lockdown, how we can control our emotions and at least not have an emotional outburst through expression of words. So thank you for that. One thing I would like to ask you, Vedabhyas, when you were saying all this, and you were saying that even in conflict, we have to be flexible. So can you please elaborate on that? What do you mean by flexibility in a conflict?
Well, hello, can people hear me? Yeah.
Yes, please carry on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are talking about flexible in our communication process. Like if we are not flexible, we are standing to our own position when there is a conflict, then we don't go ahead. When you are looking at every form of or the historically, if you analyze various conflict resolution processes that has been done through non-violent means, what is important that both the parties need to be in some way or the other flexible. If I'm having a conflict with you and I stick to my position and you stick to your position, we can't go forward. So the only way of going forward is openness, transparency, honesty, and accountability. Be flexible in our approach. We can't say that what I am saying is only correct. The other person is totally wrong in that position. That's a very, very aggressive form of conflict resolution. Here we are talking of a non-violent conflict resolution here, and that is the importance of non-violent communication. If you during of the independence struggle, Gandhi never closed or shut the channels of communication with the Britishers. So it was always open. He was talking. So it's so important when we are looking at a non-violent conflict resolution that all the parties should try and strive to ensure that the communication process, because communication is key. In fact, we are starting a course on mediation very soon, and we are going to talk of mediation from a communication point of view. As Sir Shivaji sir is expert on communication from the journalism field, we will agree that all these processes, the central fulcrum is communication. If if there is a breakdown in communication, then the entire process of conflict resolution stops. That's the end of it. So we have to strive to go on and having a communication. If the communication has to take forward, it has to be flexible, openness, honesty, transparency. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And I would also like to add just one more line, because I have read so many times, and sometimes I also try to follow on the same lines, not only here in India, but I've experienced the same thing being when I was in Spain. Basically, the principle, or I will say the main basic of Mahatma Gandhi is life, that is ahimsa parmo dharma. So that, I will say, that is the best thing one should follow and one should try in his life. And whenever he or she is having some problems, any difficulties with the work environments, or what Dr. Kundu says, the stressful life, whatever it is, then I believe this is the best thing, best principle to follow, that is ahimsa parmo dharma. So thank you very much, Dr. Kundu, and thank you, Professor Sarkar. And now I'm probably, I think we can go for a short question and answer session. So I will request the host to unmute, please, the participant who really is willing to have some question, and then Dr. Kundu and Professor Sarkar and I myself can ask question. Please simply raise your hand. Please simply raise your hand. I think that will be the best to manage the situation, because I can hear.
Yes, sir. One by one.
Yeah, one by one, please raise your hand, and the host will unmute that particular fellow first.
Yes, please. Anybody is asking question, please?
Yeah, please ask the questions, if you have any.
You hear me?
No? Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Sir, my name is Javed Ahmed Mir. I am a research scholar from Rani Durgavati University, Jabalpur, sir.
Very nice to hear from you. Please tell us.
Sir, basically, my question is that is there still the ideas of Gandhi are relevant in contemporary world? Because intolerance, we were seen throughout world intolerant people and intolerance in every society. How long these principles and these ideas are still relevant in today's we can say at international level as well as at national level, as well as at society level, sir.
Yeah. So I will request Professor Sarkar. I think he can probably answer this question in a much better way. So please, sir, please answer the question.
Mr. Javed, would you please just repeat what exactly you want to know?
Yeah.
Sir, my question is that Gandhian ideas of ahimsa, non-violence, are very much informative and very much relevant. I know, sir, that. But in today's intolerant societies, how long these ideas can save us from intolerance at national, international, as well as at societal level, sir?
You're very right, Javed. There is intolerance in the society, and not only in this country, everywhere that is growing. I think the best example is Donald Trump, who is extremely acerbic whenever he speaks out. But despite that, the international relations go on. But one thing, of course, we have to learn one thing. That you see, there are certain groups in this world who just for reason or no reason come out with something acerbic. So I think within the various internal groups, people have to discuss how they can be a better communicator. Now you see, you have a problem, you have to solve it. If there is a conflict, it has to be solved. And I think India is one of the best examples of solving the conflicts in the Northeast. Almost in every present day state in the Northeast, whether it is Assam, whether it is Nagaland, whether it is Mizoram, whether it is Manipur, Tripura, or you take any name, everywhere there used to be conflict and there used to be violent groups. And through the perseverance of this country, continuous dialogues with them, today, except for some small things, Northeast is one of the most peaceful area. The conflicts there are at the minimum level. So that means this country has that resolve to solve the problems, and country realizes, and I can tell you across the government it has happened. These different kinds of talks with Mizoram or Nagaland or other so-called insurgents, though they are insurgents, there's one thing, in the Northeast there are insurgents, but they are not terrorists. There is one difference, except for one or two stray incidents. But this continuous dialogue, that is perhaps was Vedavyas was trying to say, that flexibility in the approach resolves the conflict. And exactly it has happened. You see, the Naga talks took almost over 30 years to reach a conclusion. The Mizo talks also took almost a similar time of 20 years or so. But we have solved that. We are now trying to solve the Manipur issue. Almost now we have solved it. So what you were saying is, you see, the conflict is often not because the two people are in a violent communication, but one can be a violent communicator. Even that can be the reason for the conflict. What he says, if you are not flexible in communication, the conflicts can't be resolved. So the world over, we have to create that situation. Whether it is Gandhi or Buddha, or we go back to Vedas, Jesus. I think he was one of the best communicators that we had. So these are the situations that we have to resolve and we have to learn from them. There are ample number of instances all over the world. Martin Luther King was there. Nelson Mandela is there. The names are there. We know what they have been doing. But now we have to, I think, internationally and globally, we have to establish those institutes, those institutions, so that those people who are not communicating also start communicating and resolve the problems of the world, because without that, the peace in the world will not be easy. Vedavyas, do we have to add something?
Sir, I'm unmuting next person. I'm unmuting next person.
And unmute to Dr. Kundu as well. He is muted.
Yeah. Mr. Balram. Mr. Balram.
Vedavyas, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
धीरज कुमार सर.
Yes, please ask the question.
सुन रहे हैं सर?
Yes, we are here. We are listening you.
हाँ.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
सर, मैं प्रोफेसर प्यारेलाल आदिले बोल रहा हूँ, छत्तीसगढ़ कोरबा से.
जी.
सर, गांधी जी का जो ग्राम राज्य है, जिसे हम राम राज्य भी कह सकते हैं, तो चूंकि गांधी जी रूरल डेवलपमेंट को ही देश का विकास मानते थे, तो क्या अत्यधिक औद्योगिकरण जो आज हो रहा है और कुटीर उद्योग को अनदेखा किया जा रहा है, तो ऐसे मौके पर नहीं लगता कि गांधी जी के उस ग्राम राज्य के लिए फिर से हमें स्वदेशी और रूरल डेवलपमेंट के कुटीर उद्योग और कृषि उद्योग सब पर ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, और ये सब संविधान के पालन से, सरकार की मनोदशा से होगी?
जी जी जी
तो मैं जानना
या
चाहूंगा कि गांधी जी के इस रूरल डेवलपमेंट को कैसे साकार किया जाएगा।
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I would like to invite Dr. Ved Abhyas Kundu. Please answer the question.
हाँ, तो सर बेसिकली आपका जो क्वेश्चन वेरी वेरी रेलेवेंट है, और आज के कंटेक्स्ट में जब हम ये कोरोना वायरस के इस पैंडेमिक से गुजर रहे हैं, और अभी जैसे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ कि हमें बिल्कुल लोकल, हमें जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना है, और वो पूरा जो इंगित कर रहा था कि पूरा जो गांधीयन अप्रोच कि हमें अपने आप को मजबूत करना है, हमें अपना जो लोकल रिसोर्सेस, लोकल चीजों को प्रमोट करना है, जैसे खादी और डिफरेंट कॉटेज इंडस्ट्रीज और डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ हैंडमेड इंडस्ट्रीज। तो हमको लगता है ये दिस होल पैंडेमिक इज अ बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर अस टू गो बैक, रिफ्लेक्ट कि गांधीयन अप्रोच इज सच एन पावरफुल थिंग, पूरा विश्व को सोचना। और गांधीयन जो अप्रोच है सिर्फ कुटीर, ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द इंटरडिपेंडेंस, जो मैंने बताया कि नेचर, ह्यूमन एंड ऑल अदर लिविंग बींग्स। जब हमारा जो उद्योग जो है पूरा नेचर के साथ उसके साथ लिंक नहीं है, सिनर्जाइज नहीं है, तो हमको ये इस तरह के पैंडेमिक से गुजरना पड़ेगा। अभी कुछ दिन पहले मैंने प्रोफेसर जे.एन. गुडाल जो फेमस ब्रिटिश क्रिमेटोलॉजिस्ट है, उनका लिखा एक बहुत सुंदर आर्टिकल पढ़ा कि the world will face more such pandemics if we keep on destroying our forests and wildlife. So because then the wildlife will come nearer to the whole human race. So in that context, the Gandhian approach to the economics, the Gandhian approach to rural development is more relevant than ever before, especially in this context of pandemic. And what was Gandhian's economy? It was a non-violent in nature, कि किसी को भी destroy नहीं करना है और हमको सृजन करवाना है, सृजन, that was the important thing. Yes,
सर इस अवसर पे एक पंक्ति प्रेस करूं?
जी बताएं या प्लीज कंटिन्यू, बट वी आर रनिंग नाउ आउट ऑफ टाइम, सो प्लीज लिमिट। या प्लीज जस्ट फॉर 1-2
yes, I
minutes
think only 7 minutes are left.
सभ्यता का सार समझदारी में है, सभ्यता का सार समझदारी में है, समाज का विकास ईमानदारी में है, देश का विकास देश के संविधान के पूरा कार्यवाही में है, और अगर दुनिया चाहती है विकास तो केवल साझेदारी में है, केवल साझेदारी में है। इसमें गांधी का दर्शन है। थैंक यू सर।
हेलो, थैंक यू वेरी मच। या
हेलो,
यस सर, या
हेलो सर।
प्लीज
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन
जी।
हाँ, मैं भोपाल से बोल रहा हूँ
जी।
हेलो सर, हेलो
प्लीज या वन स्पीकर, या प्लीज लेट अस नो हु आर यू।
मैं डॉक्टर अनवर खान भोपाल से बोल रहा हूँ। सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि लोकल और वोकल का जो ये कॉन्सेप्ट प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया है, तो ये क्या ये कोविड का जब तक असर रहेगा, या जब तक ये अभी हावी है तब तक, या इसके बाद फिर ये जिस तरह से कोविड-19 खत्म होने 1 साल 2 साल बाद खत्म हो जाएगा, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे लोकल और वोकल वो फिर वापस वो शहरीकरण में ना आ जाए?
Yeah, in fact, I would like to limit this question here because we cannot answer such question. Otherwise, this will turn into a political debate maybe at some point. So I'm sorry that we won't be able to answer this question because this session.
Hello, sir. One more question.
Yeah. This should be the last question, please. Yeah. Please.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Please introduce.
Hello.
Ask your question. Please introduce.
हेलो सर।
या वी आर लिसनिंग।
मैं डॉक्टर मनोज मिश्रा गोंडा। हेलो, मैं डॉक्टर मनोज मिश्रा।
जी डॉक्टर मनोज।
मैं डॉक्टर मनोज मिश्रा। सर मैं गोंडा यूपी से बोल रहा हूँ। सर सुन पा रहे हैं हमें? सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, हाँ सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब तक हम एजुकेशन में लोकल नहीं होंगे, हम अपनी कंट्री के एजुकेशन को फॉलो नहीं करेंगे, आज का जो एजुकेशन है वो फॉरेन की तरफ लोग ज्यादा अट्रैक्टिव हो रहे हैं, तो गांधी जी का विचार था कि अपनी संस्कृति पे जो है ज्यादा फोकस किया जाए, तो इस पे आपका क्या कहना है?
I think I will request Dr. Ved Abhyas Kundu again. because this is particular organization which is working on such mission only, and that's the aim of the government of India. They have already opened this department. So I will request Dr. Kundu again, please take the question and answer, please.
You see, all our efforts have been to promote in the context of the local situations, in the in the indigenous culture, the traditional culture, how we can promote our traditional culture. In fact, also the COVID gives an important aspect, how the indigenous knowledge systems should be safeguarded, how our indigenous knowledge systems should be promoted, so that these can play an important role of actually जो हमारा जो ये सब पैंडेमिक है उसको बचने के लिए हमारा इंडिजिनस नॉलेज सिस्टम्स का बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस है. तो इनफैक्ट एवरीवन नीड्स टू प्रमोट दिस होल इंडिजिनस नॉलेज सिस्टम्स और इंडिजिनस कल्चर. जब तक हम उसको पूरा प्रोटेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, सेफ गार्ड नहीं करेंगे, हमें इस तरह के पैंडेमिक से वाकिफ करना पड़ेगा.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we limit the session here because we are already running time out of time limit. So this session, as I feel, this has been really wonderful.
I think Dr. R.K. Sharma wants to ask a question. Please let him ask.
Yeah. Dr. R.K. Sharma, as we already know, he is the Director of Research, Director of Biotechnology Department at Mangalayatan University, our university. So I would request him, please say something. Please unmute yourself. You are muted.
Unmute. Unmute.
Ji. Yes. Please say. Sharma sir, we cannot listen you, though you are unmuted.
Sir,
Something
I have
wrong.
unmuted him.
Yes, I can see that he is unmuted.
Yes, please now speak.
लेकिन उनकी तरफ से बात नहीं रही. मुझे लगता है सर माइक में कुछ इश्यू लगता है उनके साथ. He is again muted now.
Yes,
please
sir,
unmute him again.
Not there.
Yeah. Because Sharma sir, please unmute yourself.
Jaldi bole, please.
Yeah. Sir, please unmute yourself. Yeah. Please say something. No, it seems his mic is not working at all.
Yes.
Though he's unmuted, but his mic. Okay then. Sorry about that. But anyway, this is some technical issue and we cannot help with that at this moment. So Professor Sarkar sir, I will request again if you want to say something in the end of the session. Otherwise, I will simply thanking all the participants to join such a wonderful event, and especially Dr. Kundu, who proposed us this idea to have this particular conference. And it seems that we soon will again be organizing many more conferences with Gandhi Smriti Mission. This has been a really wonderful and very interesting session because all the participants were too enthusiastic. If I look at the comments they have made in the chat box, I am overwhelmed with this response. So thank you very much. So Professor Sarkar sir, please say something and then we are going to end the session.
Yes, I'm thankful to all the participants, and where I find that they have come from very far off, and it's really a nice opportunity for us to meet all of them. And it is a pleasure and really an honor for Mangalayatan University that we have all these eminent persons with us who have discussed. Some of them, of course, because of time limitations, we have, that is a different issue. But would like to have more such interactions with all of you and take the help of Gandhi Smriti Darshan and Vedabhyas Kundu to organize such seminars again and again. So with this, once again, I thank you. There is Dr. Pankaj Kumar, I think he wants to ask you, but I don't know we have time or not. Dr. Dheeraj, you can decide.
We have only 1 minute left, 1 minute only.
Yeah, otherwise this session will be automatically disconnected. One last thing.
Sir, we can close it, it will be better.
Yeah, one last thing. All the participants are requested to fill the Google form explicitly so that we can send them the e-certificate for their participation. So please only and only through the Google form. Thank you so much again. Probably I think we cannot extend the event because it's already.
One more announcement is there.
Yeah, please say.
One announcement, please.
Yeah.
Sir, that Google form link is present into the chat box. I am continuously posting it. that please all the participants fill the Google form for the participation certificate. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you much. Again, soon we will be organizing one more webinar for sure with the collaboration of the Gandhi Smriti Mission and the Mangalayatan University, and we will again be contacting all the participants. We will again be promoting the events in the same way. So greetings in the end, and thank you again very much for your such an enthusiastic participation. Thank you and goodbye.